Good evening. How are y'all doing? I said I was gonna stream. I said I was gonna stream earlier today at lunchtime, and you know, gosh darn it, my career keeps getting in the way of my streaming career. Um, yeah. Oh, I'm my microphone is all jacked up. That's better. There we go. Good evening. Sorry if I blew your eardrums out at the beginning. I don't think anybody was here for that. Yeah. So I think what I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna work on my Discord bot that I've been building. Let's see, disc. I'm just calling it Steve's bot at the moment. I know it's a good name. Classic. I'm actually migrating a bunch of code that I wrote that was primarily exploratory. Let's see. I'm also working on writing tests for all this code too. This is way too small. It's way too small for stream. Let's see. So I was in the middle of writing tests, and I was specifically in the middle of writing a test for lock releaser. Lock releaser tests. Alright, let's make a new tab too. And the reason for this new tab is so that I can do two things. So let's split this terminal. Alt Shift minus. Oh, nope. Oh, no, that was Alt Shift plus. So how do I close that? Control Shift W. Control Shift W. I want to do Control or Alt Shift minus. There we go. Alright, so down here, what we're going to do We're going to CD into Steve's bot. And then we're going to do npx live server source. This way we can constantly see our test coverage here. See where we're at with things. Then up here, should be able to do .NET. I should be able to watch the tests. How do I do that? .NET watch tests. I think I can just do .NET watch. Whoops, I'm in the wrong place. I think what I can do is I can do .NET watch test source. Let's see, .NET test. Does this have a watch command? Can you not do that? .NET watch tests. How do you do that? Hello, Dogman. How are you doing? Having yourself a good day? Good evening? Nice, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I'm having a good evening, man. No complaints, you know? Life could be so much worse, you know? I mean, not that life's bad, but just you gotta have perspective. Okay, so that's .NET, but I can't do .NET watch test. Why do I feel like I should have been able to do this? .NET watch source test? Nope. That's not what I want. Well, I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time worrying about that. Let's see. Where are we at here? We need to write some tests. That's what we need to do. Okay. Namespace is going to be stevebots module dot tests, no, dot worker dot tests dot unit. We're going to have a public class. We're going to call that lock releaser tests. And then we're going to do our work here. All right. So first thing is going to be fact. Public void constructor. It, let's see, when called, it should create instance. Yep, just like that. Although I don't want the comments. AI always wants to put the stupid comments in there. Doesn't really matter. We'll say lock releaser shouldn't. Oops. My snippet completion has gone crazy. Let's see. Lock releaser should not be null. Lock releaser should be of type that. I know that some people are going to think that's a dumb unit test, but if you ever change the signature of the constructor signature, you'll know if you break it. All right, so if we don't, or if someone tries to pass us a null, let's see, constructor, when called, and semaphore is null. Yep, it should throw. I don't need all that. That's a little bit too much, my friend. Use var. Fine, we can make it static. Alright, so we should be able to run this test, make sure that passes. Come on. There we go. Hockey, is it just me or the volume low? Does it sound low now? Maybe I was just talking quietly. My gain looks okay in OBS. You guys call me out though if I... Oh, it failed. Oh, that's interesting. There we go. All right, I don't actually know if this one's gonna fail. Nope, it didn't fail. So we need to go implement that. So we'll just add a little guard close here that says, I think you can, yeah, argument null exception dot throw if null. What is this? Like your actual work? No, this is no, this is not like my actual work. Unfortunately, I don't get to write unit tests like this at work. All my tests are end-to-end UI stuff. But I do believe in writing tests. And so I've officially made the crossover from like writing junk throwaway code to just figure something out to now I'm trying to build like a proper project. So here comes the writing tests. All right, dispose when called. It should release semaphore. Actually, I think what I can do with the semaphore is I think I can actually do 0. And then that should be 1. Yep. Okay. And we should also do, let's see, public void dispose when called multiple times. It should release semaphore once. Yeah. Can I mock the semaphore? I don't know if I can mock the semaphore. Yeah, it's a public. It is not an abstract class, so I can't mock it. So I think that's the extent that I need to test that class. So dispose when called, it releases the semaphore. If it calls multiple times, it just releases it once. This is kind of an interesting thing about when you write tests is another test I probably wanted to write was that if you call dispose multiple times on the releaser, it doesn't throw. But this test sort of has that implicitly built into it, so I'm not going to write another test just to test that behavior. So now, let's go ahead and rerun our tests for the project. And we should have new test coverage now to look at. And we can see the lock releaser has been covered 100%. Okay, cool. All right, so I've got some Discord events that I still need to write tests for. But I'm actually going to start moving the code from that playground repo over into this repo is what I'm in the process of doing. Okay, so I have the hello Discord event. Then I have a bunch of other events that I need to get moved over here. Zoomer Boomer, what are you building? Zoomer, you can see the pinned message, but I'm basically trying to build a Discord bot. But I'm in the very early stages of doing that. And I'm trying to do it without using any existing, like, Discord.net or libraries or anything like that. I'm just trying to build it from scratch. Purely for the fun of it. You might say, why would you do that? And I would say, for the learning, you know? Hey, what's up, Artwork Studios? How are you, man? You doing well? Having yourself a nice evening? Okay, I'm going to add a heartbeat event. Heartbeat. Event. Heartbeat Discord event. okay for this one. I'm basically going to have a public constructor. And you're going to have to pass me an int, which is going to be the sequence. And if you guys are curious like where I'm getting all this, it's all from Discord documentation. Oh. Oh, there we go. That would help if I'd spelled things correctly. And then the opcode for this is always going to be 1. And we just need to go and write that. Cool. Cool. Unknown not found. Yo, what's good, Steven? Hey, unknown not found. It's been a minute. Yeah, life's good, dude. No complaints. Actually, this might be my last, like, close to my last stream of the week because my parents are coming to town tomorrow. I don't know. I might get a stream in tomorrow afternoon, but I don't know if I'll stream Saturday. But yeah, life's good, man. Let's see. My kids' field day's tomorrow, which means they're getting to the end of the school year. Tomorrow's Friday, obviously. Woot woot. We made it through another week. I am drinking my coffee right now. I lifted right before I turned on the stream, so I got a good workout in. I don't have anything to complain about. Artwork Studios. I always sound like an NPC saying this, but I'm fine. How about you? Well, Artwork Studios, I'm literally an NPC. Because every day you find me in this exact same place, doing the exact same thing, saying the exact same words. Artwork Studios, that's nice. Hope your parents are happy. Yeah, they're doing well. It's my mom and my stepdad actually who are coming to visit. Yeah, they're doing good. You know, they're living that post kid life. You know, the empty nesters, and I mean they've been empty nesters now for almost, I guess, 10 years now at this point. But they got a new dog about a year ago. He's kind of their big fixation at the moment. Unknown not found. I'm glad, man. I'm glad all is well. Can't wait for school to be over. Dude, I can't tell you, like, when I was in school, I was a clock watcher, man. I just could not wait for that thing to be done with. Ivan, hello to all the fellow C-sharpers from F-sharp community. Hey, what's up, Ivan? I've always wanted to try F-sharp. I've yet to do it, but I've heard really good things about it. Unique UX tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. What the fuck? Yeah, tomorrow is Friday. What the fuck? It goes by fast these days, don't it? It's kind of crazy, honestly. Can't keep up. Can't keep up. What are you gonna do, you know? Let's see, heartbeat. This is the heartbeat acknowledge Discord event. This one's actually really easy. This one just is just a strongly typed object to represent that particular opcode. So we'll just have an internal record. it'll be a heartbeat. Discord event, inherence for Discord event. And then we'll go here. And that's it. That's all we need to do there. We have to add this one to the converter. Let's see. So we'll go here. I actually don't remember what the heartbeat event number was. Let's see. Discord API. Let's see. I want to say it was 2. Oh no, it was 11. 11. That's what we're looking for. Let's see. Public const int heartbeat acknowledge. Yep, it's 11. Copilot already knows about the Discord API. Alright, so we'll have Discord opcode dot heartbeat, like that. So we've done the heartbeat acknowledge, we've done the heartbeat event, we've done the hello event. What other ones do we need to do? We need to do the ready event. Yeah, we need to do the ready event. Okay, this actually has some nuance to it. This one has something called ready data, or that's what I called it. I know, it's a wonderful name. Ready data. Leader Y. That is intentional. I do want to hide it. And then I need to add it to my converter. Never tried F# before. Yeah, me neither. Never even heard of F#. Yeah, F#'s one of the .NET languages. Let's see if we can find some examples of it. Hashtag F example. It's much more of a functional language, right? So it's a little bit more terse. Definitely try F#, even if you don't stick with it. Kind of changes how you may think about your data or code. Okay, cool. I appreciate that encouragement, Ivan. I mean, I have this stack of languages that I want to try. I have F#. I've tried Go now, but I also want to. I've tried to learn Rust, right? But then I have people telling me I need to go learn Lua because I am using NeoVim now. Got to throw F# in there. There's just so many languages and technologies. It's hard to get to them all. What are your guys' summer plans? We really don't have any summer plans, honestly, man. I just got my kid registered for his second season of tackle football today. So I'm guessing there'll be some football-related activities this summer, kind of leading up to the season starting in the fall or in August. We'll probably go visit my brother. My brother lives in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. He's like on the other side of the state from where I live. They've got I have a almost 2-year-old nephew that I need to go visit. And then I'm sure we'll go back home to my hometown at some point and see my family there. But yeah, no big vacations or anything like that planned. Unique UX. We have camping and theme park plans for summer. Also, lots of backyard cookouts. What theme park, Unique UX, are you going? Do you guys have on your list? Yeah, summer job for some cash. That sounds like a wonderful plan. Ivan, does Discord API use WebSocket, HTTP long polling, or webhooks? I think they have all three except for the long polling. Well, I guess I shouldn't say. You can do long polling if you want, but they have a and I shouldn't talk like I'm an expert because I'm by far not an expert. I'm learning about this even as I write the code on the screen today. But they have a REST API. They do have webhooks, but there's very limited. Like if you look at their webhook support, you can only actually get, I think there's only like 3 webhook events you can listen to. Yeah, there's only 3 webhook events. There's application authorized, entitlement create, or quest user enrollment. I have no idea what any of those are for. And then the rest of the events, you have to use their gateway events API, which is using a WebSocket connection. And then the REST API, you can do a lot of things with that. Let's see, API reference. Yeah, HTTP API. I haven't looked into this too much because I'm primarily just wanting to run a persistent WebSocket connection. I want to have a worker process that's listening, and then I can write code to react to different events. That's basically where I'm at. Ivan, by the way, you have been streaming on YouTube Shorts for a long time. It kind of feels like a new feature of YouTube. What do you think of it? Does it worth it from the streamer standpoint? I just started like in January, February, so not very long, like a few months. I primarily it's kind of funny. I actually started doing vertical streams because, well, I started doing vertical streams because I wanted to stream to TikTok and YouTube. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to pick one format and do vertical. Because before I was just streaming to YouTube and Twitch, and it was horizontal landscape. After a little bit, though, of doing that, TikTok was always super quiet. So I just stopped streaming to TikTok, and then I just stayed with the vertical stream on YouTube. And what's funny enough, I get way more engagement and way more viewership streaming vertical than I do horizontal. And I think part of that's just being a small channel. I think YouTube pushes more discovery through shorts than it does through your typical videos. So yeah, I think it's worth it. I like it. It's been fun. Fly away, dumb fly. Do you think uncommented code is bad, like 0 comments at all? No, I don't necessarily think so. I think comments are very contextual. So for something like this, I don't necessarily think I'm gonna add a lot of comments. And I guess there's 2 kinds of comments. There's like comments that you write to explain why you wrote the code the way you wrote it. And then there's comments for like documentation purposes, right? So if you were shipping something like a library, like I can actually show you an example of this. Like I wrote an SDK for Anthropic's API, and I still maintain it and try to keep it as up to date as I can. But their API is evolving so much. But if you're building something like a package like this, or a package that other people are going to install into their code, like this should have all all the comments, right? You should have whatever your language supports. You should have commenting on there, because all these XML comments show up as documentation for people that use your library. So you should definitely do that. If you're going to distribute your code for other people to use, you should have comments that serve as documentation in your source code. I think comments that explain why you wrote your code a certain way should be used very sparingly, right? I think you should always think, if you're having to write a big long comment to explain why you wrote something the way you wrote it, I think it's worth thinking to yourself, okay, can I write this in such a way that I don't need to explain it with a comment? And sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just can't get away from it, and you need to leave a comment. But yeah, that would be my thought off the top of my head to that question. Artwork Studios, most of my code is uncommented. Yeah, I think it's just very contextual, right? If you're just building for yourself, if your code's never going to be consumed by somebody else, it's just very highly dependent. Hey, Anus, nice username there, buddy. What lang was that? This is C#. This is C# that I'm looking at. The stuff we were looking at a minute ago, this is also C#. And then I also had some F#. This is F#. Ivan was talking about being an F# user primarily, and so we were taking a look at what F# looked like too. Yeah, F# to me just looks much more terse. I do kind of like this though. Like a little list comprehension. That's what that looks like. That reminds me of kind of Python. This is an interesting syntax. This is the pipeline operator. I could get behind that. I kind of like that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to put F# on our list of things to learn. That list is ever growing. Let's see. Let's open up our NeoVim. Let's see, OneDrive, desktop, things to look at on stream. Let's see, we actually have tried learning Go. We just need to invest more time in it. So let's replace that one with try learning F#. Let's see, is there anything else I need to take off here? We already did this. We tried looking at PG Lite. That was fun. And we tried Zed. Wasn't a big fan of Zed. I guess at some point we still have to try PHP. There's just too much. Too much. Oh, I already did this too. Setting up VS Code to work with VidMotions. I already did that one as well. I haven't looked at this list in a minute, I guess. Mart, what we making? Mart, we are trying to learn. We are trying to build. At some point, we're going to build what is going to be a Discord bot, but I'm very early in the stages of doing that. Danny C. Damn, what's F#? F# is it's another one of the .NET languages. So if you're familiar with like Visual Basic or VB.NET, you can basically VB.NET, C#, F#. They all compile to IL, and then they all run on the CLR. So just another language that you can use to build stuff. It's more of a functional language. It sounds like Ivan's a big user of it. He probably can give a lot more detail about F# than I can. Jesse McMullen. I know nothing about coding. What do you suggest my first steps to get into it? I would do free code camp. This is where, hold on. Learn to code. That's where I would go if it was me. They should post a link here in a minute. There you go. Yeah, that's where I would go. Free code camp, and I can pull it up here on screen. I think that's the best place for most people who have never coded before. It has a really well structured curriculum. It's got a great community around it. Like, they have a forum, so you can go and post and ask questions. Their forum is always popping. There's tons of people in there that want to help teach and help other people learn. I've never used R. Never used it. Ivan, by this point, I have already tried all the things I wanted to look into. I'm just looking for a job. I'm optimistic, though. In my opinion, there are plenty of jobs I see. Yeah, it's just, I mean, in my opinion, jobs is a numbers game, man. It's like, there's so many fish in the sea, and how do I connect with a bunch of people and put my name in a bunch of different places and show up in a bunch of different areas to try to make something happen, you know? Just a numbers game. Every job I've ever gotten has been that way. Lots and lots of applying, only a few interviews, and only a few of those interviews lead to offers, right? It's like a sales funnel. Like, I think it's a good way to approach getting a job, is to think of it like a sales funnel, right? You want to have a big top because you expect it to narrow down to just a very few final offers at the end of the day. Yeah, of course. Yeah, hope that's a good direction. I think they've helped a lot of people learn how to code, so it's a good place to start. I have an issue with my SEO for Svelte. It's a pain. I have to make ID JSONs and all that with dynamic data. But it's more than that. SEO is a pain programmatically. Yeah, I know you kind of have to give extra thought to SEO when it comes to spas. It's kind of a different ball game. But I'm sure that's a solved problem for, like, I think, like, there's got to be, I mean, doesn't the New York Times use Svelte? Like, I would think there'd be some big websites out there using Svelte who have kind of solved the SEO thing. Mark, play Code Wars, Jesse. Yeah, Code Wars is fun. That's a fun way to learn how to code. Code Wars. LeetCode's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with LeetCode either. Any comments on the C# naming conventions, Pascal cases, and method names, for instance? Yeah, I don't mind it so much. Like, I bounce back and forth between C# and TypeScript a lot. And so sometimes my TypeScript will start to look like my C#, and my C# will start to look like my TypeScript, and then I have to remind myself which one I'm writing, right? I don't mind Pascal. I try to adapt to whatever, like, the convention of the languages, right? So in C#, Pascal names for functions is kind of the convention. In TypeScript, camel case for functions, right? So methods, functions. I try to just adapt to whatever the kind of common convention is. Wait, what is the font in your terminal? The font is Cascadia. It's a nerd font, I can tell you that. I'm pretty sure it's Cascadia. Where is it? Appearance, I think. Cascadia Cove Nerd Font Mono. And I got it from, obviously, the Nerd Font website, but I can tell you the exact place. That way you don't gotta go hunting for it too far. Let's see, fonts. Cascade. Yeah, this is the one. And actually, the person I kind of ripped this off, because the person I saw that originally used this was Scott Hanselman. So this guy? Oh, that downloads it. I don't need to download it. But this is where I got it. Who asked that? Thinkway? At Thinkway. Here you go, mate. There you go. Foray. There's not really any good packages or ready-to-use libraries. That's very interesting because I would have never thought that. I would have thought SEO in Svelteland would have been something somebody else had already kind of solved. Ivan, by the way, are you on .NET 9 already or 8? I am on 9, man. I do my best to try to stay up on the latest. So, oh my goodness. Give me my terminal back. There we go. So I am on .NET. Let's see, .NET. Make sure I'm not lying to you. Yeah, I'm on 9. And whenever 10 comes out, I'll just immediately upgrade to 10. I try to do from like all my side projects and stuff, I try to stay up on whatever the latest is. Game player, finally someone using the .NET framework for Discord bots. The naming conventions are cool. Yeah, like I think a lot of people, I've kind of mentioned this in previous stream, but I think a lot of people use Discord.js for Discord bots, which based on all the client libraries I've looked at, this is by far looks like it's the most straightforward and ready, easy to use. Like it looks like you could get a Discord bot up and running in a day if you used Discord.js, but I decided to take the long path. I decided, hey, I'm going to write this in C# and I'm just going to do it myself. Do you have any websites for SEO tips and tricks? No, I don't. I'm not an expert at SEO. Like I would never dare claim to be. I just figured as many people who are using Svelte in the world, like everyone has to kind of consider SEO if you're building brochure sites or marketing sites, that type of thing. Even if you're building a landing page site for an app or something, right? You need to kind of think about SEO. So I'm surprised based on all the research you've done, you've come up empty. What's up, Kogarashi? How are you, man? Long time no see. Life good? I hope life's good. I hope life is treating you well. Any thoughts on Stack Overflow? Yes, I do. Anise. Anise. That's probably the better way to say your name. Anise. Any thoughts on Stack Overflow? Yes, I do have thoughts on Stack Overflow. I've used Stack Overflow a ton over the last 4 or 5 years learning how to code. I never answer questions there, and I never ask questions there, but a lot of the times I will Google something and then I will end up on Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow's community is not for me though. That's why I don't answer questions there. That's why I don't post questions there, is because I feel like that community on Stack Overflow is so precious about the way questions are asked and the way questions are answered. I just feel like y'all have completely lost the forest for the trees. But again, that's just one random guy in Kansas's opinion. I could be totally off base. I'm sure they have a good reason for being the way they are. It's not for me. Is anyone contributing to Stack Overflow after ChatGPT's revolution? I honestly don't know. I know their traffic has seen a pretty significant hit. Mark, SEO and SEA is not for the faint of heart. Yeah, I don't imagine. I'm guessing there's a whole industry, right? That's a whole specialization. Kogarashi, yes it is. How's yours? Yeah, man, life's good here. Kids are healthy. I'm healthy. I got some coffee here in front of me. That's almost empty. And yeah, I'm hanging out here, writing some code, talking to y'all. There's very little to complain about at the moment. Anish, you stopped contributing years ago. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, everybody's got their own thing, right? Like, I get it. Like, if you like the way the Stack Overflow community operates, that's awesome. Like, I would never knock you. It's just not for me. Like, it's just not for me. Yeah, really. Let's see. Yeah, really old post, so it doesn't match with the latest Svelte versions which I use. I checked npm. I found forked versions that are yet to be 1.0, so I'm not so keen on wasting my time. Yeah, I get that, man. I feel you. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. It's one of the downfalls of SPA, right? It's one of the downfalls of client rendering everything. Maybe it's worth considering not client rendering the whole site, right? Maybe do some server side rendering for some of the stuff that you need to be SEO optimized, or even make it static. I mean, you should still be able to crawl though, right? Like, you should still be able to have a robots.txt and still have people crawl your site. So I think for the most part, I'm guessing like the Google the Google crawlers have figured out how to index spas at this point, if I had to guess. All right, so much of the web went towards client side rendering. I would think they would know how to deal with that at this point. Toad says sorry, but what's the context? We're really just talking like about random stuff, and occasionally I'm going over here and writing some code occasionally when I feel like it. As you can see, I haven't written much code at this point. Which is my line counter actually updating? Can't really tell. I feel like we've written more code than 5 lines. No, it's updating. Huh. I guess I haven't been as productive as I thought I was being. Well, actually, I think there's a lot of changes that aren't commit. I think there's a lot of new files too, aren't there? In any event, that's what we're doing. See you later, Artwork Studios. Have a good evening, man. A Giant Slayer. Ooh, that's quite the username. A Giant Slayer's in the chat. Watch out, everybody. What are we working on? We're working on trying to build a Discord bot in between me running my mouth at chat. What language is this? This is C#. Foray. Yeah, I have the prod website up and running, but Google's crawlers are really slow for me. I will, however, add the robots.txt. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry it's such a struggle for you. I hope you do get to the bottom of it. Excuse me. I hope you do get to the bottom of it and get it figured out. You've never seen C# like that? Oh, okay. Interesting. Use C# in Unity. I'm guessing there's probably some difference between writing like game-oriented code, right, versus like this is eventually going to be basically a worker service. I've never written any Unity, so I don't really know what Unity, like C# Unity code looks like. Giant Slayer. I'm starting a game too. Nice, very cool, man. What kind of game? You're going to use Godot? That's funny. I actually have Godot as one of the things to take a look at on stream. Because I think Godot supports C#, right? Yeah. I was going to do their tutorial. They have a tutorial where you build a 2D platformer, which looked pretty cool. Yeah, your first 2D game. This is what I was going to try to like follow along and do. That might be fun at some point. There's just too many cool ideas out there. I think it's pronounced Godot. Oh, okay. That's my bad. That's my bad. I'm terrible at pronouncing things. What's up, Landon? How are you doing? Good to see you. A giant slayer, a farming sim of sorts. Well, that could be cool. Yeah, a lot of people seem to find farming sim games like real peaceful. You know, like almost like meditative. Yeah, I guess you'll have to become your own SEO expert there, buddy. Or if you can afford to hire one, why not hire one? Unity integration is pretty limiting on C#. You kind of have to know the entire Unity IDE to get DI and stuff to work correctly. Interesting. Interesting. I have the company I work for. We're basically a .NET shop, C# shop, and one of my colleagues at work, he writes Unity's games in his free time, builds Unity games in his free time, and he says great things about it. But maybe that's because he has a lot of experience with C#. Oh, that stinks. F#'s blocked out from Godot and Unity. They need to fix that, huh? Let the F# people play too, huh? XB3. What language is this, boss? It's C#. Yeah, fair enough, dude. Fair enough. I feel you. I can't even remember where I was. I think I was at the Ready. Yeah, I was at the Ready event. And I think I'm at the point where I need to add... Let's see. I need to add public. Yeah, dispatch. I need to add a new case to the converter. This is going to be Discord opcode dispatch. And then opcodes dispatch. In which case, whenever we get a dispatch, this is where we're going to say deserialize dispatch event. Yeah, like that. And then we're going to make a method to do that. Let's see, private. Yeah, it can be static. Discord event. Deserialize dispatch event. We'll have our root. We'll have JSON serializer options. We'll call those options. Okay, then what we do here is we say var, I'm going to call this type. Yep, we'll get T, and then we'll switch on that. See, type, switch. This could be null. Could be null. Okay, then we need to make a new static class that's called Discord instead of Discord opcodes, we're going to call it Discord event types. I can't remember what Discord calls them. Discord calls them like I think they call them types. Let's see. Dispatch events. Yeah, I'll just call on Discord event types.cs. .events, and then we'll do internal static class Discord event types. Do public const string ready, and that should be all caps, which it is. Then in our Discord converter, we can say if it's ready, we'll deserialize it to a ready event. Look at us, we're just humming through this, aren't we? This is all code I've already written, and I'm just moving it from one project to the other, though. It's a little bit of a chore. I think that's all. We have hello. We have dispatch. We have hello. We have heartbeat acknowledge. And we have the ready event. Oh, we also need to implement the write method. So this will be JSON serializer. Yep, just like that. Thank you, Copilot. I tell you what, sometimes Copilot is a big help. Other times, Copilot's kind of annoying. Biggest difference in Unity with C# and C# itself is it's easier to learn C# when you're interacting with physical objects, but you end up creating more code for 3D mapping and vectors. Well, yeah, I think that's the hardest part about, to me, that's the from an outsider looking in, that seems like the hardest part about game development in general, is working in a 3D space and dealing with vectors. It's not as much how good you are in C#, but more about how much you know your way around Unity. Also, Unity has some weird quirks like camera jitters when you are on battery save mode. Now that's a quirk. That sounds like a bug to me. I know I'm the quality guy, but that sounds like a bug to me. I see all the serializers, and my Unity brain goes serialize field. Yeah, this is how you this is basically how you deal with polymorphic, right? So whenever you have JSON data that's coming in or you're sending it out, and it's basically basically of a polymorphic nature, right? Where you know, you have like kind of a base object, but then that base object can have, you know, like in the case of Discord, like it can have a D property that's shaped like X, but it can have a D property that's shaped like Y based on whatever the opcode and whatever the type is. This is how you deal with it when you're using system.text.json. You have to implement all this logic yourself. I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you could do. I don't think you could source generate this. I think you kind of have to roll it by hand. I don't know. Maybe you could give like maybe you could build a source generator that reads like an open API spec or something that would generate these converters. Because that's basically what you're building. Is you're building a converter that implements a very specific abstract class, and then you register this converter with your JSON serializer options, and that's how the serializer knows how to handle it. Excuse me. I see. Is that Japanese in the chat, Toadsage? Is that what that language is? You guys are speaking? That's pretty wild. I made a couple 3D games. Needed to study my math more to actually get stuff to happen. Yeah, like game development seems like it's heavy math. Seems like it's heavy math. I watched an interview with Tim Sweeney on the Lex Friedman podcast, the CEO, the founder of Epic Games. Listening to him talk, I was like, yeah, I'm not even a developer. I think I know how to code. I don't know how to code. That guy knows how to code. Polymorphism sounds like something you take medicine for. Yeah. Yeah, polymorphism is like it's like a blessing and then a curse, right? And depending on the language you're working with, how much of a blessing versus a curse it is, right? If you're in something like JavaScript doesn't give a shit. You can have whatever, you know. I'll be quiet. I was being too loud. I got yelled at. Keycaps. I thought it was C++. Nope, this is C#. Dennis K, what IDE are you using? I'm using NeoVim. It's Japanese. Nice, very cool. I was gonna mention hashtag Japanese chat. Yeah. That's pretty wild to see people chatting in my chat in different languages. Pretty crazy. Ivan, should I learn C#? I mean, I do know F#, so I kind of understand .NET basics and whatnot, but I know there are tons and tons of syntax sugar coming in with all of that C-like syntax. Ivan, I think whether you learn a language, like personally, this is my personal opinion on this stuff, I feel like whether you learn a language or a particular technology has a lot to do with just what your goals are, right? Like if you're trying to get a job at a very specific company that has a very specific tech stack, and you need to know C# and you need to know the .NET the .NET platform, like I think then it makes sense for you to learn it. Other than that, I'm not sure you have to, right? Unless you're just curious and like you want to know it. Justice for volume autonomy. Yeah, I gave up my autonomy when I said I do. All my autonomy went out the window. To be fair, I mean, they're all trying to sleep. We all have to be up in the morning, so my wife, to be fair to my wife, you know, I should try to keep the volume down. I did get yelled at by my wife, Toadsage. She came out of the room and said, she just pointed like this. Which means shut the fuck up. Possible. Which framework is this? This is C Sharp, and it is going to run on the .NET platform. And as far as a framework goes, yeah, not really. There's not really a framework here other than using .NET. In your Japanese coded language, you're plotting to overthrow me. Nice. Very cool. That's right. Happy wife, happy life. I relate. I'm 5'4", but my 6'5" boyfriend has 0 power over me. Well, it's good to know that you guys are aware of this. It's good to know that you all wield your power with self-awareness. For me, it's already morning, 6 a.m. in Czech. Great time to watch a stream. Oh, that's awesome. You're in Czech, huh? Czechol. You said Czechia, or is that the same thing as Czechoslovakia? Or no, is that the Czech Republic? Is that the name of it now? You're actually you're close by to one of my other regular chatters. I have a chatter that always shows up from Serbia. Are you guys close to Serbia? For some reason, I feel like you are. Oh no, you're kind of far away. You're like 2 countries away from Serbia. You guys are closer to Germany or Austria. Vivek, hey buddy, what's up, Vivek? How are you? Good to see you. We have to. All the women in my family can do construction and break bones. Be afraid. Nice. Maxim, C#. Let's go, baby. It is C#. It is C#, man. Yeah, I'm kind of a shill for C#. Like the more developers I can get to try C#, the happier I am. Like one of my biggest crusades is, I think if you like writing TypeScript, you should try writing C#. And there are so many TypeScript devs that I think if they just gave C# a try, they would be convinced, right? They'd be like, hell yeah, this is awesome. There's actually, I've been watching the development. So one of the things I feel like that hinders C# sometimes is the fact, like, you can't write just a C# file and then run it. You know how, like, you write an index.ts file and you can just run it with node index.ts, and boom, you basically have a program, right? But with .NET, you have to set up a project, and you might need a solution, and yada yada yada. And so I've been watching. There's a person who works on the Microsoft team named Damian Edwards, and I've been watching him work on a repo on GitHub called, let me see if I can find it. It's basically kind of like making a C# file into, here we go. There's this GitHub. What's it called? It's called, this. Damian Edwards, I think it's called Runfile. So it's file-based C# apps. So that you can theoretically do something like .NET run file.cs, right? And so this would give people that equivalent experience of like bun index.ts or deno index.ts or node index.ts, but in C#. So I think this is kind of cool. And it's supposed to be coming in .NET 10. I think is when this is supposed to be coming. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. I don't know. I'm an evangelist for C Sharp. I'm totally going to sleep. I'm an old lady all night, folks. See ya. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate having you. Luna AI. Dude, I built our entire MVP backend in C Sharp. It's awesome, honestly. That's awesome to hear that someone else say that. So very cool, man. Yeah, the more people who are doing startups and building MVPs and prototyping, the more I think we can break C Sharp out of that old stuffy, mindset, right? Of like, C Sharp and .NET is only for people who wear khaki pants, pleated khaki pants, and collared shirts. Ivan, oh no, I mentioned European geography to an American. Yeah, I'm an idiot, man. I don't know where all these countries are located. I'm a dumbass. But to be fair, I have no clue about USA, different states, geography, so it's kind of mutual confusion. Yeah. Like, I just know, like, they're all over there. You know what I mean? Like, I know these are the European countries. And I could probably, I think I could pick out the UK and Ireland. I think I could pick out Norway and Finland. Probably Spain, France, and Germany. But once you start getting down into kind of the Eastern European countries, that's where I kind of lose my bearing. Mart volume is fine for me. Okay, cool, man. That's good. I just have to keep it good for, I guess, my wife, who's in the other room, and not be too loud. Steven, you can call her Haru next time. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know what to refer to her, what her name was. Just reading her username. Vivek, any tips for me? I am a new grad, unemployed since last 4 months, building my projects, learning new things, applying to job. Oh, sorry, you took your message back. My bad, dude. I would be more than happy to give you any advice if you want it. But I would definitely never force my advice upon you. You know? Like, because I'm still trying to figure it out, you know what I mean? This is a really interesting thing that that the Discord API does is you have to give the Discord API intents, and the intents you provide determine what events you receive, right? So like if you want to be able to receive information about a new person joining a server, you have to give the guild member intent. And all the intents are based on bitwise operations, shifting things left. And you basically sum up the resulting values, right? So for guilds, it would be 1 and 2. So if you wanted to communicate to the Discord API that you wanted the guild's intent and the guild member's intent, then you would send the number 3. It's just kind of interesting. I haven't seen very many APIs communicate things in that way. Kind of interesting. You don't see people use bitwise operations much, or at least I don't see people use bitwise operations like that much. Let's see, Discord. Okay, I think now can start implementing some of the WebSocket stuff. So let's go over here. I'm going to create a new namespace called, I guess I'm going to call it WebSocket. I don't know. Briefing Down Under. Nice username, man. What we working on? We're working on a Discord bot, or hopefully what will eventually become a Discord bot. Vivek. Okay, any tips for me? I am new grad, unemployment since last 4 months, building my projects, learning new things, applying to jobs. No job yet. I use React, Node, and Next. Vivek, my only real tip to you is don't lose heart. Keep applying. Think of it like a sales job, right? You're going to have a big top of funnel. Try to generate as many opportunities as you can. And eventually those opportunities are going to land you into a smaller funnel of interviews and then an even smaller funnel of offers. And so the wider that top of the funnel is, the greater likelihood that translates to an actual offer down the line. I would also say, Vivek, I don't know how much effort you're putting into like networking or like getting out and meeting people who work in your industry in your area, but that's super helpful. Like I go to like 3 or 4 meetups a month around different technologies. We have a .NET user group. We have a DevOps user group. There's a JavaScript user group that hasn't been meeting very regularly lately, but did meet pretty regularly. And then there's a Postgres users meetup group here. So if you're in an area like a bigger city and that has those opportunities, I would encourage you to do that, to meet people in person and talk to people in person. If you can't do that, then try to join like Discord communities. Try to find communities of people who like work for companies in your area, so you can sort of try to find a relationship that might help you get in the door somewhere. I think most people vastly underestimate how important like that co-signing is to getting a role somewhere, or at least improving your odds of getting a role somewhere. And that's not just like tech or like code or development or engineering related. That's like any job in any field, in any industry. The bigger your network, the stronger your network, the better you'll be professionally. Briefing Down Under. Why not using agents? I guess I'm not familiar. What's the difference between a Discord agent and a Discord bot? Is there a difference, Briefing Down Under? I don't have a ton of familiarity with the Discord API, so I'm learning as I go here. Johnson, when learning technologies, do you learn by building? Seems hard to build a project from scratch due to not knowing what you don't know. I think today more than not, I usually learn by building. And then as I build and as I have questions, I'll go seek out the information I need to answer that question, right? But a lot of what I'm doing here is really not like, if you go to Discord's documentation and you look at using the gateway, they spell it out for you. They tell you exactly what you need to do. Like what's the overall flow here? What information do I need to send? How should I respond to the information they send? So at that point, it's really just about implementing it in code, right? Like, and so the way I approached learning this was, I basically had one repo and I called it the Discord playground. So this was basically a place for me to just write code, explore the Discord API. The code can be ugly, it can be not good, it can be throwaway code, but it just is, the point of it is just to get me to a place where I have kind of a working solution, right? So you can see I've got a kind of a working solution here where I'm connected to the gateway, I've identified my application, and I'm actually at this point ready to respond to events. And so that's how I'll usually learn new stuff, is by trying to work out like a minimal viable functional solution. And then once I have a pretty good mental model of the thing, then I do what I'm doing right now, which is I try to transfer it to like a proper project, right? With tests and good organization, right? Good like code architecture structure, right? So that's kind of how I go about it, Johnson. Now, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, if I wanted to learn something new, I'd probably go watch a tutorial, maybe follow along with the tutorial, and then I might go jump into building something myself. But I feel like having a tangible problem that you're trying to solve makes figuring out what you need to learn much easier, in my opinion. Because it's like, oh, I don't understand how concurrency works in this language, or oh, I don't understand how to do XYZ. And so then then you go down that rabbit hole and figure it out. Mart, what functionality should the bot perform in the end? I really only have one idea so far, Mart, and that idea is when a person joins my Discord server, I just want the bot to welcome them with like a custom message and a custom greeting. But my hope is that over time, I can add more functionality to it. Like we have a meme channel also, if you guys are interested in joining my Discord, you can join that here. But someone had an idea of like, we have a memes channel in the Discord, and so their idea was, could we like have the bot take the memes and send them off to an LLM for like rankings, like have the LLM rank the meme, and then basically then over time we would like give people awards for like the best meme. So I don't know, stuff like that. Just try to find fun activities we could use it to facilitate. Johnson, sweet, thanks, makes sense. Building things and seek answers. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go, dude. Like, I think people would call that just-in-time learning. So it's not like you're trying to shove all the knowledge about one thing into your head at one time. It's like, I've got a problem. How do I solve it, right? And if there's a gap in my knowledge between going from problem to solution, then I go and fill in those gaps where I need to. Man, I've already been live for an hour and a half. God dang, it's already 11:30. Well, guys, I'm not sure. Did I really only change 10 lines of code? It seems like way more than that. Get diff. Oh, 19. I guess 19 lines I've changed. Feels like a lot more than that, but I guess. Let's see. Let's get add, get commit, chore, port over, events, and update converter to handle them. I think I don't know how much more writing code I'm gonna do. Oh, there we go. Now my lines jumped up. There was a bunch of new files. That's why the diff was so low. So I added a bunch of new files. I was like, man, I'm not getting credit for all this work I'm doing. Appreciate you guys keeping me company, hanging out this evening. Alright, well, if there's no more chatting that we need to do, I think I'm going to sign off. And Mark, what is the end goal with Steve's bot? So Steve's bot will... So the end goal with Steve's bot is Steve's bot will be turned into a Docker container that runs on my virtual private server, and it will sit there and it will maintain a connection to the Discord server, and that bot, the bot application, will be installed into my Discord server, and whenever things happen in my Discord server, my bot will respond to it. So like I said at the beginning, I think it's just going to be one thing, which is it's just gonna say, hey, welcome to my server, yada yada yada. But hopefully over time we can add functionality, because at that point it's really just, once you get it to that point, you're just registering event handlers, you're just adding delegates when particular events occur, and then running some code. Alright, bye Toad Sage. Cageus said hi. Man, I'm sorry you jumped into the stream right as I'm exiting it, but thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Appreciate it. Ivan, bye. Good night. It was an interesting stream. Oh, thanks for hanging out with us, Ivan. You've inspired me to make learning C# more of a priority in my life. So maybe we'll do that on stream one of these nights, one of these days. Maybe F# will grab me more than Go did, because Go was good. There was some weird stuff about Go that didn't quite grab me, but maybe F# will be a different story. See you, Arkin. Alright guys, if you're here and you're around, I'm wishing you the best. Thanks for chilling. If it's still Thursday for you, have a good rest of your Thursday. If it's Friday for you, have a good rest of your Friday. And I'll see you again sometime. I don't honestly know, with my folks coming to town, I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow or Saturday. We'll see. But if nothing else, I'll see you in the comments of a video or a short. Alright guys. Bye.